Saturday, PCT Oregon, day 5. It's about almost 7, 6:51. Had a heck of a time falling asleep last night. Of course, no wind, no reason for it. I don't know what the deal is. Toss and turn until about 2, and then I wouldn't say sleep solid, but then wake up at like 4, and then wake up at 5, but I feel pretty rested. We'll see as the day goes on. Got up at about 6:30 or so. I'm getting faster at putting everything away, and knowing the place for everything to make sure I don't forget it. That's really nice. And kind of an order to things. Same order at night to unpack, same order to redo. The only thing is I left my shirt and my shorts out last night on the tent to kind of dry off. And they got damp. And not bad, because it's like they could use all the good moisture they can get. But putting them on, whew, they were chilly. And then putting them on and then putting Leuko tape on all my blisters and then cleaning off my feet again and then putting socks on, and is a whole process. And luckily, I mean, it's not really that cold, but cold enough that, yeah, you get a little bit of shivers. You're taking stuff down, especially pulling up the stakes and the snaps on the tent with cold fingers. Ooh, that's fun in the morning. So headed out about 7, about the same as yesterday. I figure if I don't, I'm not gonna have a pit stop in the midday for lunch like I did yesterday, and I did 18.6 or 18.7 yesterday. So I'm looking to do about 20, I think it is, into Fish Lake. So, or 20 close to there, and then it's a road walk into Fish Lake. But it says they have showers there and a cafe. I don't know. I can't tell online if the showers are still open or if it's going to be similar to Crater Lake. It also says showers are for guests, and then like the cost of tent camping there alone is like $20. And I'm not paying $20 to set up my tent when I'm doing it here for free. I'll do $4, I'll do $5 with the shower included, but I don't know if it's like a coin shower or what the deal is. So I can there at least get food. I'm sure if they have a restaurant, they have a bathroom, so I can kind of wash off a little bit. And hopefully they'll let me use the showers without staying there. Maybe there's a hiker discount and I could stay there. If not, there's a tent site right outside Fish Lake. So that is the plan. There are chipmunks all over this morning. Oh, there's one. All over this morning. They're used to probably campers leaving food here. And I did see a deer first thing in the morning. I heard a sound outside my tent, and probably 15, 20 feet from my tent, there's a deer just sitting there eating. And I sat up. My pad made its notorious crinkle. And the deer kind of looked up, but oh, I think I see the deer. Oh, it's dark in there. You probably can't see. See him? There's she. She's got her head up back there. Still walking right towards me. Like I said last night, because this is like 2 miles from where I saw all the deer last night. I was just crawling with them. She's still coming closer. If I can step quietly. It's going to turn more into a deer documentary than a hiking one. See if I can get down there. Doesn't see me. And I've seen a few deer on the PCT, but this last section I've never seen them this close. I'm going to turn it off and try to sneak out of here without scaring her, because I think that's the same one from earlier. So onward. Coming up on this pretty little bridge. Or some kind of canal. I'm down to just 1 liter of water, but I don't really feel like filtering another one. I know there's several spots for water throughout the day, so I'm lighter with 1 liter. And it's freezing right now, so it's not like I'm going to be this high water. So it's not like I'm going to be going through a ton. I think the predicted temperature is similar to yesterday. So, just missed the trail. So I should be good with just one. Keeps me lighter and quicker in the morning when I got more energy anyway. Up here, a nice grassy campsite that would have been nice. See, that wasn't on the gut hooks. The other one was nice too. The other one was. Stream. Bridge, another bridge. I always tell where the water is. It's the greenest. The cool morning air feels amazing. Except on my hands. So I got my trekking poles out, which I didn't use yesterday. Using them today in hopes that the movement with my hands helps. I don't know. So back and forth. Like, it helps because I'm moving them. That's got to get blood circulating. But also it puts them right out front to hit all the cold morning air. So I don't know if it's actually better. You go through such crazy personal body temperature swings out here, where it's like you'll be on an uphill just in sun beating down, and you're like, if I see water, I'm jumping right in because I'm so hot. And then by the time you get to water, you've gone to some downhill, some shade, and you're a lot cooler. So you'd be thirsty, but the idea of jumping in is like, are you crazy? Freezing. And then you'll leave the water, get out in the sun again, and be like, why the heck didn't I dunk my head in the water? So it, just like now, it's like I've been begging for this cool weather since I started. I finally have it this morning, and I'm like, oh, too cold. Where's the sunshine to warm me up? And the minute the sunshine gets here, I'll be like, why? Why are you so hot? Speaking of why am I talking on the uphill again? Stopped to take a break, and this little guy is not happy with me being here. He's been yelling at me for quite a while. Must be his big tough guy squirrel stance. Oh, big jumper. Don't go out on a limb. Certainly not happy about it. Little guy's still not pleased with me. So I'm making good time, about a little over 2 miles an hour. A lot more uphill this morning, so thank goodness it's been tree covered and cool. But a lot of uphill, so I'm about 4 miles in. Feet are feeling it because of the uphill, so it means yesterday, probably why my feet felt so good, is just pretty steady, even grade the whole time. So feeling it, but still making good pace. There's a shelter, not that I'm going to stay at, that has a pump and water, Brown Mountain shelter, I think it is. Still about 8 miles, 8.8 maybe it was, up the trail. So that'll kind of be my halfway point for the day. That'll be around 10 miles. I'll stop there. I've got my A&W soda that I've been holding on to. I'll have that. I have a bag of chips I packed out, so it's like motivation to get there. And then from there, take a little break, and then it's about 10 miles to the road that goes off to Fish Lake. And depending on what time and all that, my plan is to go into Fish Lake for dinner or whatever, and kind of check out the shower situation. And if it's not good, get out of there relatively quick before it gets dark, and hike back out to the trail. And there's some tent sites just north of Fish Lake on the trail. So that is the plan. Everything's going smooth. Sun's starting to peek through the trees, so I hope it doesn't get too warm. There's not much. I checked the elevation profile. Elevation keeps going up a little bit for like the next 2 miles, and then it kind of evens out. Hoping I get service. Didn't have good service last night. Haven't had service. I had service for like a second. Messages came through, and then when I grabbed my phone to send messages, couldn't get service. So I haven't had service. So hopefully at the peak of this, I think it's like 6,000 feet, it might open up and I'll have service for at least a little bit to kind of give everyone the plan for the day. So if they don't hear from me the rest of the day, and then I assume at Fish Lake there'll be Wi-Fi, but there was Wi-Fi at the resort I was at yesterday. I don't remember. There was Wi-Fi there, but it wasn't very good and it was super slow, and I still couldn't get messages or pictures sent. So anyway, that's the plan. That guy's still pissed off at me. So I made it to the shelter. It's barely off trail. Filtering water now. Picnic table. I got this all Jimmy rigged. I love that. I think I got time before that overfills to come in here. I haven't looked yet. Usually these are pretty dumpy. See, hikers just dump their trash here. Like someone's gonna come and leave that. Pretty nasty. Okay, so a couple of things. I'll show you the shelter. Another hiker walked up, so I was talking to him. He passed me once, I passed him. Kind of been to each other today, but anyway, you go inside there. There's all kinds of hiker trash, literally hikers trash. I would hope not through hikers. Just piled up in there, like that's just the drop-off zone for the trash you don't want to carry out. It's like if you don't want to carry it out, then don't bring it in. And if it's not an actual garbage can at an actual camp or resort or somewhere where actually the trash gets picked up, like what, you think there's a designated person that comes out there and cleans up? I mean, I'm sure there is someone who does it, but it's not their job. They don't have to do it. So it's messed up. Don't bring it in if you don't intend to pack it out. Anyway, so there's a what do you call it, pump water there. So you gotta pump it out, which is kind of cool. So I go to fill up my bladder, which I always do, fill that up with water and then swear it into my smart water bottles to filter. And it says all over it, make sure you filter. Not sure if the guy before me, because when I pulled up, there was a guy there and he's like, oh, the water's ice cold. It says you have to filter it. That's all he said. So I don't know if that means he did. Like, say you should filter it, then you should probably filter it. And seeing as it takes like another 2 minutes to filter, like, just filter and don't get sick. Like, why take the risk for two more minutes of your time? Like, I don't get that. So hopefully he did, and if he didn't, hopefully nothing comes of it. But once it's filtered, I came up with a cool system. I think I showed in the video of hanging it from the picnic table, which, picnic table. That's what the other guy that came up said, like, seating is key. And it's so true out here, because you can't sit anywhere. Nowhere's comfortable. Like, you can find a log and it's okay for a little bit, or a rock. It's not long-term comfortable, and it's not like a bench. Places that have picnic tables, where you can lay out your stuff, and it's comfortable, it's the right height for actually sitting, and it's not as dirty as the ground or anything else. So nice out here. So anyways, got that. Super cold water, even once I filtered, or after I filtered it and tasted it, super cold. No aftertaste that a lot of the other stuff, the springs that I've been drinking out of, or even the one by the reservoir the other day, had a funky aftertaste. None of that. Super cold. Just awesome. So anyway, the other guy sat down there. He was eating his lunch. He had a whole brick of cheese. That's something definitely at my next resupply opportunity. String cheese or a brick of cheese or something. Because, it just sounds so good. So he was eating that. I had a bag of chips that I had bought the other day, so I'm eating that. And there's a little eyeballing of each other's stuff. I don't know if there's like, what's etiquette to eat in front of people, and then is there like trail food trading, or is he gonna ask for some of mine, or if you have mine, can I have a piece of cheese, or is that okay? So I didn't really want to share mine or ask him to share his. It's kind of like you bring your own crab. That's what you get, unless you're dying out here. Anyway, so I ate my bag of chips, but I could not stand to pull out my A&W root beer and drink it. Like, not everyone's a soda fan, not everyone's a root beer fan, so maybe it wouldn't have been a big deal and you wouldn't have cared. But my gosh, if I would have been sitting up there without that and someone came and sat next to me and popped open a can of something, I might have died. So it's like, okay, I can eat the chips, he can eat his stuff, but I can't pull up the soda here, and he hadn't filled up with water yet. So I left a little earlier than I probably would have, because the whole plan today was to get 10 miles so I could drink this. So anyway, headed out. So anyway, a bunch of people out today picking berries on the trail. I think got little golf carts. They drive out on these little side roads, and then they got big old bins on their hip, and they're picking berries. I don't know what out here is that I recognize as being edible or anything I'm gonna take a risk on. I was tempted, the last group I saw, to ask, like, show me what you can eat out here, and are they good? Because there are some red berries on there. That must be what they're picking. I don't know how you tell what's ripe. Anyway, as I was saying, 10 miles to the shelter, so I did that. That's down 10 more miles to the road to Fish Lake, and it looks like less than a mile, maybe a mile, to Fish Lake from there. There is campsites just north of the road at Fish Lake that I can stay at if I get there and it's too late. So the question becomes, what is too late? Because I don't want to get there and do the mile hike or road walk and not have their restaurant be open, because some of them have funky hours because of COVID, or just have funky hours because they're a resort. This one looks like more of a camp. It might say resort, but it looks like more like an RV camp and campsite. And also, do I want to walk down there and find out I gotta pay $24.95 or whatever it is a night just to use the showers? That'd be a pretty big loss if both those were the case. So we'll see what time it is when I get there. I did make it. I'm average about 2 miles an hour around there. And today was uphill at the beginning, but then relatively fast, even ground the rest of the time. And I made it there about 30 minutes before, 45 minutes before I estimated when I left this morning. So that's a good time. But who knows if I can keep that up through the rest of the day. If it stays covered like this and shaded, it's not too hot, but in the sun, it's warm. Especially if it turns into any kind of uphill. I think I looked at the elevation profile, and it's mostly down, only a few small ups from here. So anyway, point being, we will see how I feel the rest of the day. We will see what time it is when I get to Fish Lake, and if I run into any other hikers that I could ask about if they're coming my way, or coming towards me. Find out if they know anything about the resort before I head down there, or if I get better signal. I've been having this funky signal for 2 days where I can send small text messages. And my wife gets them and she can text me back small stuff, but no pictures will send. Facebook, Instagram, none of that'll connect. My Fitbit won't connect. All the major stuff is just small text messages. So it sucks, but it's probably closer to the norm. I was just spoiled starting down in Ashland, having those first 3 days with having just about constant service. It's so nice, especially at night. You get in your tent, you get time to scroll through Facebook or look up town stuff ahead, outside of gut hooks. It's super nice. So anyway, that's the plan. Time to crack open an A&W. We just got to this section. Starting to get pretty rocky. And that made me remember that there's a section in southern Oregon, the PCT, super rocky like this. And then the trail is like made up of red rock. And everyone's like, oh cool, how unique, how do they get the rock in here? Which is very true. And I have no idea. But I hear it goes on for a while that I've got about 8 miles to Fish Lake. Well, maybe I'm down to like 7. And I don't know how long that section is, or for sure that's coming up, but the amount of rocks like that I'm seeing already. Yeah, and that we're kind of going up. And it looks like rocks up there too. I think this is it, and I'm hitting the heat of the day. It's 2 o'clock. It's only getting hotter from here. Did I time this perfect or what? Yeah, we shall see. Oh yeah, starting to get that rock. Oh dear. As happy as I am for a change, that is not the change in scenery I wanted. So, I mean, it's crazy cool to look at. I feel like, yeah, see? I don't know how long it goes on, but I've heard people make jokes. It's really unique for the first mile. Then it's just a pain. And my feet are already sore. I keep telling myself, like, when you're supposed to stretch out your feet, you're supposed to, like, roll it on a ball. This is like doing that with every step. Somehow I think it won't do the same thing, though. Yeah, it's warm and not fun. Ooh, really warm. Yeah. It's okay, I'm sure that's the end of it. The fun times continue. At least there's some shady spots. Not over there. Okay, that red rock is no joke and never ending. I don't know that I'm out of it yet. It's like at least a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles already of it. It's like it'll take a little break so you think it's done, and then boom, right back. And it's all over the trail everywhere else too. So it's like when they're spreading and they're like, hey, I got some extra, let's drop it everywhere. And everyone you step on rolls, and it hurts. I feel like my feet are on fire, and then it works its way all the way up to my knees. Feet are the worst at the bottom. And then all the way up the legs, ankles, and then there's like shooting pains all the way up to my knees just from every step there's rotation and movement. It's brutal. So hopefully there's an end to this in sight. It's like, why isn't that on gut hooks? Like the stuff that's on gut hooks and stuff that isn't blows my mind. Like, why would you not mark the section on there being like, hey, there's 3 miles of super exposed red rock that rolls under your feet. Same thing with the lava area in Sisters that I've done before. That's not marked anywhere on there. It's like people should kind of know that. Like you could plan your water differently, or what time of day. It's like there's sections in California that people only hike certain times of day, at morning or night. It's like these sections should be kind of marked. I mean, not that you can't do it any other way, but to give people warning. This is ridiculous. So I'm gonna check the map, see, because I still don't have signal. I was gonna check what the highest elevation point before Fish Lake and see if I do, and then yeah, go from there. The journey through the Red Rock continues. Stopped and took a 15-minute power nap. This is just relentless. I looked at the elevation. It's pretty much downhill from here, but that doesn't mean no more of this. It's up one side of the hill. Could be the same on the other. There's a lot of zigzags, which is exactly what it looked like on this side. But it's one of these view corners. Boom. McLaughlin, I think. McLaughlin. So at the base of that is Fish Lake Resort, or near the base of it. So closer, and within the next half a mile should be all downhill. So it's just the rock. Me and the rock and my bloody feet tomorrow. Good, there's more. Okay, trying to remember where I left off. Probably back in the Hell Rocks. Made it out of there. Road walked. Said 1.2. It was 2 miles down to Fish Lake Resort. Took the road, and then there was a path that went off the road. It looked like a bike path. I was like, this must lead right to Fish Lake based on where it was on the map. And it did, but it was a bike path around almost the whole property first, and then it came back to Fish Lake. So anyway, got food there. Super good, super full. Was able to I have signal, well, some signal. If we do direct text, I got it. Anything more, no. Was able to text my parents. Make plans. They were going to meet me at Crater Lake, but now it looks like Crater Lake's going to be Monday or Tuesday or whatever, just based on mileage. And today was such a rough day. But I told them if they want to do, since it's going to be the weekend, if they wanted to come and meet me here tomorrow, and they could take me into Medford, which is the closest town. We could get a hotel for the night, because it's about a 3.5 hour drive for them, and we could just hang out all day. And we get a real shower, rest up my feet, and then they could drop me back out here Sunday, and then I would be at Crater Lake Tuesday or Wednesday, roughly, which will still put me in good time. And with them coming out tomorrow, I can drop off some of the extra stuff that I'm not using, along with some of the extra food that I'm not eating. I'm thinking about maybe my cook pot. Only used it once. I got a tripod I don't use at all. I might switch out pads just because my dad has a pad that's less crinkly, and it's got one of those stuff sack blowing up mechanisms, which is a lot easier than blowing into the NeoAir. I don't know that it's more comfortable. I think the NeoAir might be a little more comfortable and a little bit warmer. But anyway, a few things like that. So I found this is just off the road. Oh, anyway, so I was eating at Fish Lake Resort, and this older gentleman pulls up, stops, gets something to drink, sits at the picnic table next to me, and I went to the bathroom. When I came back, he's still sitting there, and he said, "You a PCT hiker?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're section, not a through hiker, but a section hiker of Oregon. And he's like, "You need to ride back to the trail?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do I ever?" And unfortunately, that was one of my wife's rules. I think I said no hitchhiking. Well, technically, I didn't hitchhike. I never put my thumb out. I wasn't trying to get a ride. I didn't try to get a ride to there. I walked all the way 2 miles after those crazy lava rocks. Walked 2 miles in to get something to eat, and I was perfectly willing, dreading it, but perfectly willing to walk the 2 miles back up here to the trail, find a place to camp for the night, so my parents could pick me up tomorrow. But he asked. Super nice guy. He'd hiked the AT before, hiked the Arizona Trail, and a bunch of sections of the PCT. So yeah, he gave me a ride. I said, "When are you ready to go?" And he said, "Whenever you are." So I kind of rushed up, cleaned up my stuff, and got rid of my trash, and he gave me a ride here. Told me about the couple campsites. I walked a little bit further. He said, "Try not to stay at the one by the road or by the stream, because it'll be too loud." Well, I thought that sounded good, a stream. So I hiked a little further up the trail, and there's a guy at the next campsite up there, the single tent site that's a little bit further from the road, but just as close to the stream. And I passed these. See? An excellent one right next to the stream. Let me see. So I'm going to, after I recorded this, I'm going to inspect the damage on my feet, because it can't be good. Ooh, look at that glow. Inspect the damage on my feet, because it can't be good after today. Another reason, it'd be nice to see them tomorrow and take a day off. And just rest the feet, because I do have 220s or 223s, depending on how quickly I want to get to Crater Lake. And if I did another one tomorrow, I don't think it'd be good. After today's 20, on top of the heat, on top of the lava rocks. And the guy that gave me a ride said it's been so much cooler the last 2 days. So I can't even imagine people that did those lava rocks, say, what day is it, Thursday? People did them on Tuesday or Monday or whatever. Woo! Like, you definitely have to pick your spot. And in normal circumstances, if that was all I did that day, no problem, and I'd started early, is that I already did 10 in the early morning, pretty easy miles. And these are supposed to be the downhill easy miles on the second half of the day. Plus I'm going into food, which always makes the miles seem longer too. So it was like the perfect combination for that just to be awful. I remember, you just turn every corner and think that's got to be the last section of them, and there's always one more. And they're so exposed, like there's barely any shade in them. So exposed, I'm just cursing them by the time you can hear the road, you can see the road, I can see Fish Lake, but at least 8 more switchbacks with more lava rocks. So anyway, that's camp for tonight. I'm going to try to soak my feet. Parents are going to be here tomorrow. I haven't given them a time. There's no rush. I'll probably, in the morning, take my time and walk back down to Fish Lake Resort. They serve breakfast down there too, as long as it's not too freezing cold in the morning, and get breakfast, and then maybe soak my feet in the lake down there tomorrow until my parents get here, because there's no rush in them being here. We're just going to hang out for the day. So I really appreciate them doing that. That's a big deal, especially on their weekend. Now 2 weekends in a row has been filled up with me. I'm sure there's other stuff they'd like to do, but I appreciate them coming out here, and my feet appreciate them coming out here. So that is it. I think we're 20, well, if you count the road walk, it's like at least we're way over 20, 23, 24, something like that. I think at least on the PCT it's like 21 for the day. So that's a pretty good day, especially being able to rest tomorrow. So good night. I will talk to you in the morning.